salam rimbawan, salam lestari. Senang sekali bisa menjumpai Anda di acara Forecast, Forestry Podcast. Ini adalah podcast pertama dari Department of Forestry atau jurusan Kehutanan Universitas Bengkulu yang akan memberikan banyak insight untuk Anda semua, informasi tentang kehutanan dan juga lingkungan yang kami hadirkan tidak hanya dari para profesor atau para peneliti, tapi juga nanti dari para pelaku-pelaku kegiatan atau aktivis lingkungan dan kehutanan. Apakah itu dari masyarakat atau dari teman-teman dari NGO atau siapapun bisa kami undang di sini untuk berbagi pengalaman, berbagi pengetahuan seputar konservasi, seputar bagaimana perlindungan hutan dan lingkungan. Dan senang sekali tentunya akan hadir terus di hadapan Anda untuk bisa terus memberikan pengetahuan dan juga mengundang untuk motivasi Anda untuk bisa terus ikut melestarikan hutan dan lingkungan kita. Senang sekali saya Gus Warnia Anwar atau Igus dari jurusan Kehutanan kali ini sebagai host untuk mengantarkan podcast jurusan Kehutanan pertama kali. Tentu sangat excited ya. Dan apalagi hari ini tamu spesial kita adalah dua orang profesor dari international researcher ya. Satu dari the University of Oxford Botanic Garden, Dr. Chris Thorogood, and also Professor Pastor El Malbrigo, Junior PhD from the University of Philippines Los Baños. Jauh-jauh mereka datang untuk bekerja dengan proyek untuk konservasi Rafflesia. Mereka adalah kolega dari Profesor Dr. Agus Susatya yang sudah dikenal sebagai pakar dan juga pemerhati dan konservasionis untuk Rafflesia tidak hanya di Bengkulu tapi juga di Indonesia. Ya, kita tentu tidak sabar lagi ya untuk berbincang-bincang dengan mereka untuk bisa menggali apa saja pengalaman mereka bekerja di Bengkulu atau di Indonesia dan tentu juga dengan proyek-proyek riset mereka yang terkait bagaimana untuk konservasi terutama untuk vegetasi khususnya Rafflesia. Baik, saya akan sapa dulu dan tentunya dengan mereka harus berbahasa Inggris tentunya. Baik, dan jangan kemana-mana, tentu terus stay tune di acara podcast kita kali ini. Baik, good morning Pak Chris.
Selamat pagi.
Selamat
Thank
pagi.
you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Our pleasure as well. Okay, selamat pagi, good morning.
Selamat
Pak
pagi.
Iya, selamat pagi in Philippines.
Morning umaga.
Oh, morning umaga. Okay, morning umaga, Pak. Umaga, sorry.
Magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga.
Yeah.
Okay, magandang umaga. Okay, we get also one vocab Philippine. Yeah, thank you so much for coming here for attending this the first podcast. We are so excited. This Forestry Podcast. Yeah, we will continue our forecast regularly. So we will invite the many people who are concerned about the forest and also environments. So today, we will discuss some about your project in Bengkulu. Yeah, we know this is the second time both of you to visit Indonesia and Bengkulu particularly. We are so lucky, we are so glad for having both of you and also your students, Adrian Tobias Raj. So before deeply discussion about your project, we are wondering, firstly maybe I can to Pak Chris asking you about your passion, your like something, your lovely working for this Rafflesia.
Yeah.
Could you share why do you why you are interested in working Rafflesia? Because in your country you have no Rafflesia,
yes.
right? Yeah. So
yes, perhaps we'll say a few things about ourselves and then we talk about the project. So I'm very happy to. So I'll start with when I was a little boy. I had books on my bookshelf, nature books, and in one of them it had a picture of Rafflesia in a faraway land in Southeast Asia. And as a little boy, I looked at this picture and it was like magic to me. I couldn't believe that something so big and so special could exist. And I always very much wanted, it was my dream to come to Southeast Asia, to come to the rainforest, to see Rafflesia. And so for me, being able to work on it is such a great privilege. It's very close to my heart because it's like a dream come true.
Oh my God.
So I was always very passionate about it, and I think it captures everyone's. It's contagious. It captures everyone's imagination and passion. And one of the things that we found in this project is that the more we share pictures and stories about Rafflesia with the world, the more astonished they become and the more engaged they are with this very special flora you have in Bengkulu. And I have to say to everyone watching, I think your flora in Bengkulu is the envy of the world. It is the most fantastic flora. And that is what has brought us to this special place.
Okay, nice. So you start from when you were a child, what age like that? About 5 years or so?
Maybe a little older. I was always interested in nature or living things. So I grew lots of plants in my bedroom as a child, and I had insects and lots of creatures around me. But as I say, Rafflesia was somehow mesmerizing. It's otherness, you know. When you see it in the forest, it's so different to everything else, and so that always caught my imagination. But for me as a child, it would have been impossible to come to Southeast Asia. So it's only now in my professional career that I'm able to come, and as I say, it's a big privilege for me to be able to come here and to meet the people who are its custodians and to work with you all on understanding and protecting Rafflesia.
Oke, Pak Kris mengenal Rafflesia itu sudah sejak lama ya, ketika dia masih sangat kecil gitu ya, ketika dia melihat ada foto Rafflesia, kemudian dia tertarik ya, dan kemudian sampai akhirnya dia bisa datang ke daerah Asia Tenggara, Southeast Asia dan di Bengkulu terutama untuk bisa langsung mempelajari Rafflesia. Okay, and how about you, Pak Fat? Use your story, your behind the scene about working with you are interested in working with Rafflesia.
Thank you, Bu Igus. Since Chris started with his childhood, I will say the same because I grew up at the foot of a mountain, Mount Makiling. And even now, I'm still living at the foot of Mount Makiling.
Okay. You can see it from your house.
How far from how far from Manila? Because I already visited Manila in 2018.
It's 65 kilometers from Manila,
65.
south of Manila.
Okay, about 2 hours something.
About 2 hours.
Yes.
So even as a child, I'm already associated with nature, with forest. So when I had my BS, so I took BS Forest. And I specialize in botany. So I'm a plant taxonomist. And of course, in the Philippines, it's every botanist's dream to see Rafflesia. And I think I'm very lucky. And I'm destined to be associated with Rafflesia. Because the first species that I discovered, I named, is a Rafflesia. Rafflesia banawana. In 2009, I discovered it, and
in Philippines.
In the Philippines, it's in the far away place of Kalinga, northern Luzon. And since then, I'm addicted to it. I need to see them more often.
And more and more working with this.
And that's why when we had this opportunity to collaborate with Chris, of course I grabbed it.
I get it.
And one thing interesting in Bengkulu is that I called it the land of the giants. Because you have the largest Amorphophallus, the largest flower.
The tallest and then the
Amorphophallus.
The biggest.
You have the largest solitary flower, the Rafflesia arnoldi. You even have elephants and tigers.
So we have everything big here.
That's why we're very privileged.
Okay. Terima kasih Pak Pep ya. Jadi mereka berdua ini ternyata menyukai bekerja dengan tanaman, dengan Rafflesia itu bukan ujuk-ujuk baru-baru aja ya. Tetapi mereka tuh sudah sejak lama karena lingkungan mereka tinggal di sekitar alam gitu ya, dekat hutan sehingga mereka ada ketertarikan dan mereka kemudian juga menekuninya masuk ke dalam kuliah untuk terkait dengan tanaman sampai akhirnya tadi Pak Pet juga menemukan Rafflesia pertama kali di Filipina. Jadi sangat luar biasa ya. Tentunya Sobat Rimba juga banyak yang seperti itu ya. Mungkin di daerahnya juga banyak ada yang menemukan Rafflesia atau ada yang tumbuh di sekitarnya. Mari kita sama-sama ikut melestarikan, mempelajarinya lebih lanjut karena pengetahuan tentang Rafflesia ini masih sangat minim ya. Jadi perlu banyak orang untuk ikut meneliti, ikut melakukan konservasinya. Baik, so before discussing about this next our topic, so I introduce both of you first, yeah, to this our viewers here. Okay, Dr. Chris Thorogood, yeah, right now he is the Director Deputy of and Head Science of the University of Oxford Botanic Garden.
That's right. Yes.
And Pak Pet here, he is Professor of the Department of Forest Biological Science, College of Forestry and Natural Resources at UPLB, and currently the manager of the UPLB Land Grant Management Office as well. And working.
I'm no longer the manager.
Oh, not like a manager.
Yeah, since February 1, I had my sabbatical. So
you're a sabbatical.
I
Okay.
need to resign from my post.
Okay. So you have experience about that.
Yes.
Okay. And then right now still you, here mentioned this UPLB's website. Professor Pet is the only Filipino member of the Global Tree Specialist Group and then Species Survival Commission of the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Wow, amazing. Just only one from Philippines.
Yeah, for the Global Tree Specialist Group.
Yes, okay.
Fortunately, right now, I'm still the only one. But most likely others will follow because
okay.
I'm engaging my other colleagues on the global tree assessment of IUCN. So most likely in the near future, they will become members of the Global Tree Specialist Group as well.
Okay, nice. And then another one here, you also lead scientist of the Global Tree Assessment Philippines, responsible for the updating of IUCN, a red list assessment of Philippine trees. Oh, nice, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, in Indonesia, maybe we have also like some researcher working for the IUCN red list because, yeah, so far, yeah, I know as well, yeah, we have a lot of endangered species here, not only because the climate change, but yeah, it's so sad because about the anthropogenic activities, right? So especially also in Rafflesia as well. Okay, so because of both of you start working with Rafflesia since you were a child in the long time ago, and then you like they fall in love working with the plant vegetation like the forest something, and also right now in with working with Rafflesia. So we are wondering as well how did you create collaboration both of you, so and also with Professor Agus, because you are in the Oxford, you are in the Philippines, also in Indonesia, so maybe you will have maybe you met in the one international conference, or I don't know what event make you like the start for the collaboration.
So we can possibly link it back to a plant, to Rafflesia. So Professor Pat mentioned Rafflesia banawana, which grows in the wildest part you can imagine of Luzon Island in the Philippines in Kalinga. And Adrian Tobias, who you'll be speaking to next, was Pat's student, very talented and meticulous scientist who, under Pat's supervision, spent a lot of time studying and examining this plant and showing scientifically that it was different to another plant that it had been confused with, another species of Rafflesia. And that's when I became involved as a parasitic plant expert. So my background is in parasitic plant research. And then Adrian, who you'll speak to next, visited Kew Gardens in London for a conference in which he spoke about this plant. And then I had the very great pleasure of joining Pat and Adrian on an expedition to Kalinga, where I saw Rafflesia vanuana. Very difficult field conditions. Really difficult trekking. Very, very difficult to reach the
in the mountain or
yes, in the mountains, and very, very inaccessible forest. So you have to earn your your flower there.
More patient.
So that was where this started, and then latterly our aims and objectives are to combine and pool our expertise and our passion for Rafflesia internationally. And that's when we became involved with Joko Witono at BRIN.
Yes, BRIN, I met him.
Yes.
When you came.
And actually, I worked with Joko before on durian, for example. We
durian.
Published a paper on durian trees. So we've worked in the past. And then having the great pleasure and honour of working with Professor Pak Argus as well. And really, one of the things I hope will become clear in this discussion, this podcast, is that it's not just about the plants, but it's about the people and this community, this global community that we are building together. I see ourselves as friends. Deki calls us brothers. Deki Andriki, and Terima kasih to Deki, because he has taken us to see some of these very special flowers in Bengkulu. But together we are forming a community, and we each have different expertise that we can bring to the group to help us to understand better the biology of Rafflesia, to help us understand how to conserve Rafflesia. And so there are many of us working together in this group. But in some ways, the Philippines is the capital of Rafflesia because they have the most species for the amount of area. But in some ways, Bengkulu is the capital because you have the biggest, and many of them. So it makes absolute sense for us to be here and to work with Bengkulu. So it's very, very exciting.
Okay, nice. So how about the member of the research group? From the Oxford University, from the UPLB, from UNIP Bengkulu, and we know also the Rafflesia. When I read your articles, and also the report, about the Rafflesia conservation in Brunei, in Malaysia. So how about the member from the Malaysia and Brunei? You have also the research collaboration with them there?
Yes. Actually, this partnership started with a common goal of Rafflesia conservation. That's why we're now here, and even we collaborate with other Rafflesiologists.
Rafflesiologists, nice. Rafflesiologists,
Because we know that the Rafflesia only occurs in Southeast Asia, 5 countries: Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and Thailand.
Thailand.
So I think we thought that it will be good if there will be a network of conservationists to focus on the Rafflesia conservation. Being a very enigmatic and a threatened species. All of them, especially in the Philippines, all of the Rafflesia are threatened because in the first place, most of them are island endemics, only found in one location or in one island. And even the Bengkulu species are near endemic, or some are also island endemics. So those characteristics, and aside from that, we're not sure yet, or we don't understand yet how they reproduce, how the biology works.
Still wondering now.
There's a lot of questions about Rafflesia, and conservation of this enigmatic flower, not so much known about it, is the network will be a very good strategy.
And working together is so much better than working independently, separately. It's always better together.
So that's why we're also engaging. We're also collaborating with Malaysians.
Make more powerful.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you mentioned about only 5 countries in Southeast Asia, they have the Rafflesia. it means like the Vietnam and also Cambodia. This, I mean, for next to Thailand, right?
Yes.
So, there's no any report
No.
from them? Oh, I see.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
In fact, Thailand has only one.
Oh,
One species.
one species.
It's only Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines.
Okay.
With more than 10.
Okay. Okay, nice. Okay, Pak Chris, Pak Pat, we have to maybe break for 5 minutes, something like that,
sure.
before continuing our
Yes.
interesting discussion
Yes.
to know more your project
Yes.
in Bengkulu. Oke, Sobat Rimba, kita istirahat sebentar ya. Nanti Anda bisa menyaksikan nanti beberapa tayangan mengenai preview tentang project mereka bekerja dengan Rafflesia bersama tidak hanya dengan para akademisi, tetapi juga dengan para penjaga Rafflesia ya. Mereka sebut dengan Rafflesia custodian gitu ya. Yang mereka dengan passionnya, itu ada petani, itu ada anak-anak muda di berbagai daerah, mereka ikut menjaga dan melestarikan Rafflesia. Kita akan kembali sesaat lagi.